It is a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Charles Houston Bar Association. Can all of the Charles Houston Bar Association members, if you can just stand briefly, I know we have a significant representation here. If you can just stand so that we can see the representation of our organization. We appreciate it. You may be seated. On behalf of the Charles Houston Bar Association, we want to thank you and thank all of the organizations that joined us for the more than 150 programs that we co-sponsored with more than 65 organizations across the country. And this is not something that I can take full credit for. Michelle Holmes, our past president, could not be here tonight, but this all started under her leadership. I want to thank all of the affiliate bar associations that joined with us in lobbying the California legislature and the governor's office to get 3 civil rights bills passed and enacted into law in California. I want to thank all of you for making that possible. I also want to thank all of you for supporting the formation of the Charles Houston Bar Institute, which is our foundation, which has already raised over $100,000 to support the next generation of Black legal talent. So thank all of you for making that possible. I'm going to keep my remarks brief, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to raise awareness about the crisis that we're in. We are living right now in the most consequential moment for Black people as it relates to civil rights in the United States. And if there was any doubt about whether or not we were in a moment of crisis, the decision that was released yesterday should have all waken us up to understand what we are facing. Right now, before the United States Supreme Court, there are 2 cases, affirmative action cases, that have the potential to roll back all of the gains that we've had in education and in advancement of Black people in law school, in medical school, in dental school, right now before the Supreme Court. Right now before the Supreme Court and on its way to the Supreme Court are efforts to roll back Brown versus Board of Education, Plessy versus Ferguson, and all of the civil rights gains that we had in the 50s and the 60s. Right now in this country, in 34 states, there have been critical race theory laws that have been passed that prevent the education of our young people about the contributions that we have made to build this country. Right here in the United States of America, this is happening right now. And I think it's important for us to be aware of the miseducation that is taking place across the country. They don't want our young people to know that we built this country. If you want to understand why there is a disparity in the wealth gap between Black people and white America, well, you need to look back at 1863. When the Homestead Act was passed, it was the greatest generator of wealth in the United States. 99% of the benefits went to the white community. Black people were specifically denied the opportunity to take advantage of that. 270 million acres were given out that created generational wealth that we are still witnessing to this day. If you want to understand the disparity that we have in the Black community, you need to look at the GI Bill. 1.2 million Black soldiers fought bravely for this country in World War II, but when they came back home to their country, they were denied the opportunity to take advantage of it. What were the benefits of the GI Bill? It was educational opportunity for all 1.2 million if they could have taken advantage of it. Educational opportunities for their children, money to buy a home, money to start a business. All of that was denied to our community, but they don't want our young people to know that that is what happened in our history. If you want to understand why there is a disparity between Black America and white America, we need to have a conversation about redlining, how Black people were forced to live in only certain sections of the community. You couldn't even get a loan to buy a house in other communities. You were specifically denied this opportunity. If you want to understand the disparity, we need to have a conversation about the 32 massacres of Black communities in the United States, where entire Black communities were massacred They took the houses, they took the churches, they took the hospitals, they took everything we had, and there was no opportunity to go to a courtroom. There was no opportunity to call the police because there were laws in place that prevented black people from testifying against white people. There were laws in place that prevented black lawyers from questioning white witnesses. That is why we have the disparities that we have today. But they don't want our young people to know about what happened. We cannot sit still and allow our country to be taken by people who want to deny our contributions. We cannot sit still and allow our country to be taken by people who want folks to remain ignorant and miseducated. We have to stand for justice. We can't sit comfortable with our degrees and our accomplishments. We have to get out there and we have to fight for justice. And the time to fight for justice is now. Hey! I don't want to start preaching, but I'm starting to get riled up. It is time for us to go out there and fight for justice. It is time for us to fight for our young people, to make sure that we have an equal opportunity. We have the education, we have the tools, but now it is time to fight. So I want all of you to join me in this fight. We're going to keep fighting for justice. We're going to keep fighting for the truth. We're going to keep fighting for the education of our young people, but I can't do it by myself. Charles Houston can't do it by itself. It's going to take everybody in this room. How many are going to join me? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it.